decisions, including loan approval rate and APR, will vary based on your specific loan request and credit profile. The information provided on this show is merely to allow the listener the ability to become more familiar with such potential opportunities and to obtain more detailed information on the suitability of such opportunities to the listener's personal and financial situation from the companies, entities, and/or organizations involved.
A new home you've dreamt about for years, and there's only one thing standing in your way: getting a loan. Rest assured, United Mortgage Corporation of America is here to help make your dream a reality. Get answers, get results, get the service you deserve. What kind of loan do you have? Call now at 888-LIFE-980. That's 888-5433-980. Or go to the web at yourrealestatelife.com and take action today.
Good morning and welcome to Your Real Estate Life. It's your day in real estate radio. I'm Mike Harris, President and CEO of United Mortgage Corporation of America. We are here today to talk about your real estate life. I ask you this question: what kind of loan do you have? You know, I always like to lead with that because many individuals don't have an idea. Oh, my rate's good, but it's good for you as a number, a monthly payment, because there's many components to a rate and what that rate means. How long is it going to be paid? How much is going towards principal or interest? Is it front-loaded, back-loaded, or even steady? Is it amortized? Is it simple interest? What is your interest volume? What is your footprint? Is it good for you today and tomorrow or next time? You're going to go, oh my gosh. Where is it that it's doing its best work? Do you need something today, future, or steady as she goes? So what we talk about here, we talk about not only what are rates, well, it's whatever you want them to be, how much you're willing to spend to go get it. We talk about the economy. Yeah, we have economic news that comes out every day, most every day, and we have the market that fluctuates up and down and around. And we're talking about a Fed that will be going in September, probably be going in at the end of October, and probably again December 10th. So that's a quarter. So that's taking the prime rate or the discount rate, but the prime will go from 7.5 to 7.25 to 7 to 6.75. But what does that mean for you? It means consumer rates are a little bit lower. It means your savings rates are a little less. But it also means going into a Fed move, mortgage rates are generally at their best. Now we're coming off and we're here at these 10-month lows for mortgage rates. Fantastic. People want them to be a lot longer lows, and they're waiting for them to get even lower. I want it to be 6. I want a 5. Okay. But when they get to 6 and 5 or high 5s, do you think they're going to go lower? I mean, again, we get to that position and then people want more. So what I'd like to do is have a planning meeting with you, finding out what you're looking to do and what we can do to help save you money. Now, many individuals I had going from 3s and 4s, they went up to the 6s because they were able to stretch out term in order to free up monthly, to pay off debt sooner, to free up more capital, to take that rate much lower because we've moved further down the amortization. Sounds like a lot of gobbledygook. The bottom line is, if we pay off a loan earlier, on an amortized loan, we're not paying as much interest over the life of the loan. When you closed on your interest on your annual, or not annual, on your closing disclosure, you had a tip, total interest percentage on the bottom. That number could have been over 100%. Now, if your interest rate was as low as it was, 3s or 4s, it was under 100, but it was a lot higher. It was 58%, 62%. You're paying too much. Your lender loves you. You don't need that kind of love in your life. You need to make it stop. And my goal is to put that money back in your pocket. Let's get you eliminating interest volume, paying off debt, and allowing you to create wealth. And if we can accomplish those steps, you're going to be much better off. You're going to be able to afford the things you want to do for yourself, your family, even plan for college. We have clients that are utilizing a home equity line of credit. in order to get to that position, and then have that ability to borrow from themselves, even through other financial vehicles, to become the bank, borrowing and gaining back. Now, on my end, I was doing, as a self-employed individual, as my own corporation, my kids, from a young age, I was able to W-2 them, and they worked various functions for me, or 1099 them through my company, taking out the trash for the business, shredding items, doing whatever the case may be. So I was doing a Roth IRA. So some people have the 529 plan and all that, but I was doing a Roth IRA for my kids. My son, who has already graduated college, he still has in his Roth IRA close to $25,000. He paid his education, has no student loan debt. Proper planning can get you there. My daughter went to college, undergrad, went to master's, 1 year left, and she has no debt, and she'll have money left over as well. Proper planning gets to your end result. Student loan debt, other items. We want to be able to map these out where you are in your planning process. Whether you're just getting started, you got the little one, you're going to have a lot of people talking to you about even life insurance there to become a vehicle to allow to afford the things later in life. And life insurance can be a lot cheaper, of course, as you're younger. I was the individual in my 20s. I went and got my two disability policies. I had my life insurance policy. When I was eventually in my 40s, I did my long-term care. All these items you can do at different stages that are beneficial to save you money. Now, I do have a life, health, and disability license. I don't write, I refer, but I also hold a broker's license in California. I lend. I'm a mortgage banker and mortgage broker. I refer out even for real estate transactions. I don't list, I don't sell. I'm Mike Harris, President and CEO of United Mortgage Corporation of America. We'll have more after the break.
Your equity position has started to improve? Call about the removal of your private mortgage insurance or mortgage insurance premium and save money today. Call 888-5433-980.
What if I told you everything you understood to be true about money is not? If there was a program to eliminate most of your interest in your life and pay off all your debts, personal or business, even mortgages, in as little as 1/3 to 1/2 the normal time without refinancing and without changing your lifestyle, would you want to learn more? Call 888-543-3980 and request your information today, or email at interest@aheadformoney.com. That's interest@aheadformoney.com.
Welcome back to Your Real Estate Life. It's Your Day in Real Estate Radio. Thank you for joining us here on Fox Sports 1590 AM, 94.7 FM here in Ventura County on our Saturday program at 9 a.m. We also have a Sunday program on K-Earth 101, but we do that every other week. But we're also now going to be on YouTube, Your Real Estate Life. So catch the show there. You'll see me with a face for radio right there on the screen. And we can talk a little bit there, and give me a call, 888-543-3980. That's 888-543-3980. We talk about each week a webinar on Tuesday evening, and it really is an important place to visit and go. It's a webinar that will help you understand better management of funds. It's not just envelopes here or snowball or avalanche or this and that and this. What it's doing is it's a proper illustration of the usage of a perfect financial GPS program technology. I'm introducing you to technology that's not that difficult, but it has millions of line items of code that people spent a lot to go do. And it's your utilization of it that's going to save you a ton of money. It's taking what many have advised and tell and send and do and be labored through the process, and it became a lot easier. It's easier to succeed where technology has gone. And I like sharing is, when's the last time you reached in your glove compartment and pulled out a roadmap. It's been a long time. So where I'm at with that is, if you're driving down a 50-mile 2-lane highway and you're driving and mile 46, oh my gosh, the bridge is out. I was reading something this last week. There's a key bridge between California and Arizona just burnt down. And they're all concerned. I mean, I was looking at my thing. Oh my God, the flames, the whole bridge went down. It's a key cog between the two states. Holy cow. What happens if you're on that road and now you have to turn around and go the other way and go, oh my gosh, it could be hundreds of miles. But if you had the information that I just kind of got, that helped. But up-to-date information, moving instantaneously to make your finances in a better route. Imagine going down that 50-mile 2-lane highway and everyone on the other side coming at you is all waving. Oh my God, they're so friendly here. Oh my gosh. No, they're trying to wave you down to make the U-turn, and you just don't understand until you get there. Now you're waving everyone on the way. Oh, geez. But anyhow, technology, getting information sooner has tons of pluses, but it also has societal negatives that have occurred. I'll leave it there. But utilizing that information for your family, your future, and your family's future is important. And I want to bring that to you. And nobody is touching your money. No one's transferring your money. No one's accessing your account. No one wants to know your account number. No one's getting personal info. But you and us and me in the meeting will be inputting your personal information, not account numbers, but balances, who you owe, because we want to get that budget right. Otherwise, you got a big expense that we didn't account for. We want to understand, what is your discretionary monthly leftovers? Do you have $1, $2, $10, $100? Is it $1,000? Is it $2,000? What's left over? Are we taking your debts from 26 years, 27 years, down to 13 years, or we're down to 8 years? And it goes down to the decimal. It goes down to the day. And when you gain additional revenue, a bonus, or it goes in, we have standards that we set. What allows you to sleep at night? How much money in the checking or savings not to go below? And it respects that advisement as it tells you the dates and the reasons why to do stuff. As you're doing, the date that the bill is due, the date you get the statement, all these things are there, the minimum payment. And whether you pay an extra, I'm making it up, $62 a month on that one, it goes down to the last penny. Yeah, penny's still relevant. You know, have you felt those now? They're so darn thin. You think you're playing with a little piece of tin as a child thing, you know, those little pennies. But anyhow, every penny matters when it comes to your money, and it does accentuate over time. So we want to show how that works. So Tuesday night, I say write it down, but you're driving. So Tuesday evening, 6 p.m. You can send an email. Very easy. We're talking about interest rates. We're talking about interest. So the email, interest@aheadformoney, AHEADFORMONEY.com. Now you can take that a few ways. At A, head for money. Or let's put the A and H together. Ahead for money. Let's get ahead for your money. Let's make it happen. I don't want you behind. You know, I'm telling stories here, but you know, when you see people in line somewhere, oh my gosh, look at the line. You hop in line. What the hell are you going in line for? I don't know. But you tap the person in front. What are we in line for? Oh, you have no idea, but you get in line. I don't want you in line. I want you in front of the line. I want you to make your decision, not rely on someone else's. Let's get you in the front of the line, and let's find out if there's a benefit for you. Because if it doesn't save you $1, I'm not charging you $1. It would make no sense at all. So when I'm saving people thousands of dollars, I'm not charging them thousands of dollars. That's not how it works. Personally, I saved over 6 figures. I was bringing my numbers down to 12.3 years. I got it down to 7.9 years. Holy cow. I mean, that's huge. That's massive. And my interest rate on my house, I'll be very transparent, 2.875. Oh, I can't be touched. Can't do any better. I have an equity line also behind mine, and I use my equity line to reduce my footprint faster, which is taking my balances down to that 7.9, debt-free. Debt-free. And as I said, I actually allocated and properly did what I did for my kids and did my job on my end to get my kids started debt-free. My daughter, who's finishing her master's, as I said, she'll start her career job next year. She'll have her car also taken care of by that time, and she's making the monthly payments. She is making the monthly payments and paying her insurance. Yeah, don't get me started on insurance, not even the car insurance, the homeowners insurance. Well, I guess I'll start somewhere on that. If you're looking, if you know when you, of course, bought your home, you know when your renewal is on your insurance. You need to be ahead of yourself and understanding where things are. Can you be renewed? Did you file a claim? Are you going to be denied or the renewal? Is your policy going to go up 20, 30%? Is your home up to par and speed to where your foliage is not close to the home, or that's going to be important? You need to check with your personal insurance advisor. You need to understand what your policy is, where it continues, and what you need to do to make sure that happens. You truly, truly do. You don't want to be shocked. We had a gentleman in Calabasas, California here. He was paying closer to $5,000 a year. For some, that's still a lot. They weren't looking to renew, but they offered him insurance. You ready for this one? $85,000 a year. And some of you listening in Calabasas can understand. Some of you are going, well, that's not me. You just want to make sure that is not you. You've got to look at that. You really do. Others, he eventually got a counter and got it all down shopping down to 43,000. Yeah. You got to make sure when you're purchasing, you're able to get covered in your local market. You got to make sure that you can gain the coverage that you need, because your homeowner's insurance may turn out to be catastrophic insurance rather than homeowners, because you don't want to file a claim. You don't want to not be renewed. 888-543-3980. That's 888-543-3980. We still get questions about a home equity line of credit. Is it a second mortgage? It is. It's secured by the equity in your home. So what we will do is we'll look to get a value to your property, understand that value, and then conservatively, maybe even up to 90%, but 85%, 80%. I like to be under. I don't like to fully encumber on a line. But once you get to a certain point, also that line, it has additional costs, prime plus, and I want to get rid of that plus. So I want to be conservative, maybe to 80%, maybe 85. But we look at the value and find out what equity you have available. Then we look to qualify you based off your income stream of what we can and cannot do. So in doing that, that's very, very important. So we will take a look, understand, and then to even take a look at what you have. Do you have cars? How many years before they're paid off? Does it make sense or not to add them to the line? Or is it your credit card stuff? Or maybe you don't have anything to add. Let's attack the first mortgage. That's where I'd like you to attend Tuesday evening. It's the first step. I'm also going to send you out some links so you can get more. This is not something you need another degree on what you're going to do. I'm just exposing and getting you information so you can evaluate. Then we can talk separately. But this is not some, oh my gosh, major difficult item. It's just being exposed to it where most people have not done that. Tuesday night, 6 p.m., send me an email, interest@aheadformoney.com, or you can call 888-543-3980. I'm not restricted by state. So anywhere you're watching this, if you're watching on YouTube, you can go ahead and give me a call. I can get you out an invite. We can have our very own Zoom meeting through my Calendly. We can discuss it further. So adjust for your own time zone. So 6 p.m. here in California as I'm broadcasting today, East Coast 9 p.m. and use your area as you can for Mountain and Central. So I have a lot of clientele and a lot of people I'm helping throughout the United States right now, many in Georgia, Texas, Florida, and then some other states as well, not to just name all these states, but those are primary for the last week that I've been working in and for. Utah has been coming up as well. But we're helping families pay off debt sooner, creating additional, of course, equity, but also getting out of debt. And with that debt, they're able to use financial planners and others in order to create wealth. So we partner with many individuals in your local markets, and we hope to educate them because they should be talking to you about this as well, because this is allowing them to do what they do by freeing up that discretionary and putting you in a better place. So if you have professionals on your team and people that you know, maybe it's a mortgage guy in your state or a mortgage person you work for or work with in the state where I'm at in California, I'd love to talk to that mortgage professional. I'd love to talk to the realtor who got you into your property. I want to show them how they can go help others and people they've helped do better. And it's not going to cost them money, but it's also going to create an ability to communicate better with them. 888-543-3980. That's 888-543-3980. You know, I just look at what's going on all over, and I look at the general climate of what's happening with people looking to buy, and people are saying, I'm waiting. And as we're waiting now through the summer, we're going to go into the fall. We got back to school already, in some cases, some in September. And then people are kind of going, well, it's September, it's near the end of the year. And then you're watching 3 Fed moves. The decisions today will allow you to take advantage of what's occurring as those moves will start and go into 2026. So it's deciding today. It's like tax planning. Once the year's over, you can't recreate a lot of it. So it's doing your mortgage planning now to take advantage of changes that are coming. When you're refinancing, pulling cash out, doing all these items, these are things that don't have a deadline, but you have preparation and being ready to pull the trigger. You're able to find the surprises that you don't know are there. I had an individual who had from a wireless company, won't mention that name, I won't, but they had an $85 item. $85. They didn't know. We ran credit. It showed that $85 item. She had a high 700, almost 800 credit score. It went down to the low 600s just for that $85. The reason why? It just happened 2 months earlier. There was no time since they wrote off. They even wrote off the 85. They didn't even bother to let her know. So when they did that charge off, it affected her score immediately and dropped. So we worked to get the score up a little bit, but there's not only so much I can do. Time will help. So that goes into the strategy of not paying as much for the loan today, so we can redo the loan perhaps later with lower rates and an improved credit score, because she'll have a rating on a new mortgage. She'll have other items maybe drowning it out, including time. We want to manipulate and work through what that is when it comes to the mortgage or the credit scores and bureaus. Time is one of the components. But again, $85. She called over and said, hey, can I take care of it? The problem was when it happened, the item was a charge off in 2024, and she's calling the beginning of 25. So they already wrote it off their books. It's more expensive for them to even take the money. So they said no. So it's being prepared and understanding what's coming. And to do that, you have to get started. You can't assume something is going to work last minute, because we have many places or individuals currently even, they'll pick up a phone. Hi, just got my offer accepted. I need to apply for the loan. They say I need a pre-approval letter. Can you get that over today? It could be worth the paper I send, or we can verify the proper information. So when individuals talk about getting a pre-approval within minutes, it's as good as what information you provided. So if you provided 70% of the information, your approval is only worth 70% of what it says. And what 30% isn't, you don't know. But when things may appear on a credit or appear here or appear there, That's when it comes into play. You have a home inspection, you have this, you have contingency time, sure, but you don't want to necessarily manipulate that situation. So it's my job to make sure that we are accurate, we do get it right, and we know what we're talking about. And that's what I come in to make sure we verify the income. Are you self-employed? Are you salaried? Are you commissioned? Do you have bonuses? Do you have multiple jobs? Do you have pension, Social Security? Do you have do you have alimony, child support? How long? Is it continual? Do you have assets that allow you to pull money out? Is it going to last for 3 years? All these things matter. But this is where I exist in that space to make sure it's your benefit. 888-543-3980. That's 888-543-3980. It's so very important to be sure that you're aware of what's going on with your real estate life. But it's important to have those professionals. We talk about football season getting started. We got preseason going on. Yeah. My wife's team, the Cleveland Browns. We'll see what happens with their 6 quarterbacks. I don't know. So a lot of stuff going on there. And they got the preseason with the Rams. So as I look at that, you want an offensive line that protects you against the defense. The first defensive back that gets in, you're a scrambling quarterback. I want to not have you scramble. You want to be able to go down the field, run your play, and get the job done. That's what we're talking about. But it's doing it with the best information so you can succeed, whether it's paying off debt, creating wealth, or it's knowing what's going on the next day so you can make that decision to lock, close your loan, whether it's a refinance or purchase, and do it the best way you can for the timeline that you need. Go to yourrealestatelife.com or unitedforloans.com. That's United, F-O-R loans.com. When we come back, we're going to go over the economic calendar for the 18th to the 22nd. We're going to go over that together, tell you what the effects of what that is. I'm Mike Harris. We'll have more after the break.
Looking for a place to start? United for Loans is the place for you to start your refinance or purchase process today. Call 888-5433-980.
Yes, it's a little scary right now, but every crisis presents an opportunity. How many times have you looked back and said, why didn't I act? Do not try to navigate lending without a map. Tune in Sunday at 7 a.m. on K-Earth 101 with host and CEO Mike Harris of United Mortgage Corporation of America to discuss your real estate life. What should I do? Buy, refinance, sell, or hold? United Mortgage Corporation of America is open for business and ready to lend. Visit unitedforloans.com or call 888-543-3980.
Lending can be a bit confusing. Numbers can be tossed from one direction to another. How can you make it all stop? United Mortgage Corporation of America, unitedforloans.com can be your guide. Call directly at 888-5433-980 for what you need to know when financing a home of your dreams or commercial property. Call now at 888-5433-980 or visit at unitedforloans.com. That's 888-5433-980.
Welcome back to Your Real Estate Life. It's your day in real estate radio. I'm Mike Harris, President and CEO of United Mortgage Corporation of America. We lend in California, Colorado, Montana, Texas, and the state of Washington. Now that's for forward and reverse mortgages. We could do DSCR loans, debt service coverage ratio loans for investors. We can do that in 46 states. So 4 states were out of bounds. And if you got those 4 states and you're lucky to go guess them, then we'll go ahead and maybe refer that out for you and help you out and make sure you have the right course of action. My goal is to save you money at every turn and every cost I can. Generally speaking, if I'm on the job, I'm saving you money. I'm going to usually be there or better if I can to others. If I'm not, I'll be the first to admit it and say, hey, you got a good one. You need to go with it. A lot of times that closing statement did not reflect what was said, though. And that's what the scary part is. Sometimes my honesty up front doesn't get me the loan, but then it gets me the thanks at the end when I help bail them out. And I don't like being in that role. I can't take the ball in the 9th inning, the 7th inning, but I would like it in the 1st inning so we can have a smooth process so you didn't have to stress and go through those decisions. Because sometimes that can be the hardest part of doing a home loan. Especially when there's outside individuals that we rely on that I have to work with, team, and make sure everything goes smoothly. And it's understanding that there's hiccups on the road that you don't necessarily anticipate. Just like a realtor handles 162 other items that you don't quite see, and the obvious isn't the only things they do. So on my end, I may know what those 162 are. I might be able to perform them, but I do stay in my lane and do what I do. I have a broker's license here in the state of California. I don't list, I don't sell. I refer that. I do loans. So as the paperwork comes in, a purchase agreement, disclosures, and all those items pertaining to the real estate side, and many things I don't see because they're not part of the loan process. But those items come in, I review, go over, we see errors, mistakes, more information, so we can underwrite to obtain that approval. So we're part of that process. Without our process, you don't have the money to close unless you're paying cash or getting it from someone else, whatever, so cash. But the thing is, we want to make sure all these items correlate. And depending upon what you have, it's a different loan program. Where I mentioned DSCR, debt service coverage ratio, is based on the rents. But sometimes those rents are not adequate. So you have a certain coverage. It's not 1-to-1. Your rent is an offsetting principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Sometimes it's 75%. If it gets below 75%, there's some what is called no ratio loans or no DSCR. And then the rate is higher. Maybe you're looking at a rate of 8.125. But based upon obtaining the rental property, it's your desire. It makes sure it made sense financially. That's what you do. Maybe you put more down to get that ratio correct. Maybe it's more than 20%. It's 25 or 30 or 40% down, depending on the market that you're buying and the demand on rents. So these things are all considered. And again, throughout the United States, it's different because of prices and rent. So different markets, different areas have different criteria or acceptable numbers. So when you're getting an appraisal, you have the appraiser commenting about market rents. So unless they're different and rental in place, or the realtor is showing other items to secure that higher amount and data supports it, then we can go that route. But that allows us to look at the program that you need to use. Now, I mentioned we're going to be looking at the economic market on Monday, the 18th. We really have nothing really being released that day, so it's kind of quiet. So sometimes I like those days, but then something seems to find itself anyway, and people just do things for no reason. So keep an eye on that too. But on Tuesday, we have building permits and housing starts. On Wednesday, we don't have anything again, so we're going with every other here. On Thursday, the Philadelphia Fed Index for August, leading indicators for July, and existing home sales for July. And then on Friday, just like I said, but we kind of put Wednesday, Thursday together. But Friday, got nothing really coming out. But there's so much news going on. They're talking about Fannie and Freddie talking about having an IPO. They're talking about putting them public. Now, of course, they're making tons of money, but that money is being siphoned off, let's say, by the government. So what's going on is now if they go privatize, all of a sudden that money, and where are they getting that money? And there's all these things that go into all that. So that's the tug of war when it comes to the privatization versus where it is today. But we'll see how that goes. But you have the opportunity, if it happens, to invest, be that early investor. And quite honestly, I think the profits could be fairly decent. Now, I'm not a licensed individual there giving financial advice or investment advice, but it's just an interesting thought. But if you have the discretionary, then maybe you think about it. But nonetheless, my job, as I said, is to save you money, having the right loan for the right reason for the right time. But once you have that, being able to pay it off responsibly. So my goal is here also to have you look at what's possible, whether you need a loan for a purchase, you want a loan for a refinance, pull money out, consolidate debt, whatever the case may be. I'm here for your lending questions. That's what I do. That's where I have my profession. But with that profession, I saw the need. As I had people coming back to me year after year, coming back to me like a piggy bank, can I get more money out of my home? We went, okay, yeah, I can do that. But every time you did that, you were starting over on your amortization. So where rates are today, maybe compared to where you were and you started, rates are higher. So your interest payments are higher as you start. My goal is to get you further down so you're further getting more principal than interest. Most people don't get to a 50-50 state until 18 to 22 years in on your loan. It's not folded in half in its 15 years. It's not equal. More money is going towards interest. Take a look at your statement. Go online, look at your statement. Let me know how much money more is going towards interest than principal. My goal is to move it down further so you're actually getting more stuff done. 888-543-3980. It's really very simple, but it's a message that has difficulty getting out. Now, I can help one person at a time. I'm trying to help multiple parties at a time by talking to you today. If I get 1, 2, 10, 15, 20 people to show up on Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. to learn something, a better way to do something that you've been doing every day, every month, every year, maybe learning a new habit that saves you money. Take it as an educational time. 1 hour, 6 p.m., sit on the couch, open your computer, watch it. You don't have to be on camera. You don't have to talk. Just have an open mind. And let's talk afterwards or maybe even before. Send me an email, interest@aheadformoney.com, AHEADFORMONEY.com. Either ahead for money, so I want you ahead of your money, headformoney.com, interest@aheadformoney.com, and let's get the job done. Let's get it done together and get you on a better path. If you're on a great path, hell, I'll listen to you and I'll find out what you're doing and we'll incorporate it. I love to hear that. I was on the phone with a financial planner this past week and says, oh, we already do that with our clients. We send them out a sheet every single month and tell them what they need to do. And we send it out and okay. Well, it's a little bit more primitive than where we are today, where you have the ability to actually go on and see it right there daily. And it tells you an up-to-date based on your life changes. Otherwise, you got to go submit those changes and wait for it to come back. And so it's using technology, but using it correctly, but understanding what you're doing and not having someone interfering with your life, but having a silent advisor, having someone smarter than you and me and others in the room that doesn't talk back to you. That sounds perfect, doesn't it? Especially when it comes to numbers and money. Now, I may love numbers, you don't. You push them off to the left or the right or off your desk. I want them to be in the middle of your desk, but you don't have to watch. You just get perfect information. I'm Mike Harris. We'll be back right after this break.
I work all day, sweat and slave, and we break our backs for what? Money! Get pre-approved for your home purchase. Your landlord loves you. You're making their mortgage payment. Own for less than you pay for rent. Call 888-5433-980.
What if I told you everything you understood to be true about money is not? If there was a program to eliminate most of your interest in your life and pay off all your debts, personal or business, even mortgages, in as little as 1/3 to 1/2 the normal time without refinancing and without changing your lifestyle, would you want to learn more? Call 888-543-3980 and request your information today, or email at interest@aheadformoney.com. That's interest@aheadformoney.com.
Money, 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 must be funny in a rich man's world.
Welcome back to Your Real Estate Life. It's your day in real estate radio. I'm Mike Harris, President and CEO of United Mortgage Corporation of America. So very important. So very important that you understand what your home loan is doing. You need to make smart moves while you still can. Yeah, there is some urgency because the longer you're in a loan that maybe is not right for you, you're paying more interest volume. And then it gets to a point where you paid all the interest, and my gosh, what are you going to do? But then you still can eliminate that debt sooner. I want to show you how technology today allows you to come up with those solutions faster, even easier, because you might be able to get there, but it doesn't mean it was the most efficient route. Tired of you pulling out that roadmap and thinking we can go put pins in the wall and say, hey, I can get from here to here. Just the other week, when I was coming to the studio here, I live in Santa Clarita now, California, and the studio's here in Ventura. And I grew up here in this region and all that. But as I was looking down, as you're someone who's local, the 126, I was making sure that fire wasn't going to be a problem that popped up. And they were talking about the evacuations and looking at where that is, and everything was fine. But trying to get information that maybe I would never have known looking at a roadmap. The roadmap's not going to tell me current information. So it's gaining that information. But who's telling you the information on your finances when you have 6 different decisions to make every single month, and there's 720 factorial math items that you can do and have a variance? And if you did it right one month, congratulations, you won the lottery. Do it again next month. You need to have something that works and continues to work. And I use that analogy about having a good offensive line and moving down the field so you can score and come out ahead. You need that consistently. And the teams that don't finish on first is when one guy has a penalty or a letdown, or, oh gosh, the quarterback got sacked, or oh gosh, I didn't get the play right. I broke left versus right. All these things happen. You kick an extra point. Oh, it went wide left. Okay. So all these things happen. Well, I missed the sign, or okay. I don't want you missing the sign that costs you money. And I don't want you assuming what you have is the right path when it's costing you money. Pick up the phone, 888-543-3980. That's 888-543-3980. Our program today is our Saturday program. It's to our audience here in Ventura County. Our audience here gets this program on local radio. This show is now streaming and it's on YouTube. So you have the ability in various regions to watch the show or look at it another time. But what I urge you to do, you don't need to watch, you don't need to listen. Just pick up the phone. Let's have a talk and figure out where you are and where your journey is. Whether I can help you go forward, maintain. Let's see. 888-543-3980. As President and CEO of United Mortgage Corporation of America, we are here to help and serve you when it comes to your financing arrangements. Whether it's your first home, second home, shopping center, you're moving up, you're moving down, whether it's an FHA loan, a veteran's loan, whether it's a 0% down using grants or other items that are available in city or counties, we will look. We'll look at the area median income. We'll look at where you are. We're going to look at their debt to income ratio. We're going to utilize all your income coming in, whether it's rental income, whether it's looking at a pension, Social Security, alimony, child support. All these items matter. All these items matter. And it's getting those numbers right. We've been able to stretch the debt to income ratio higher than your commonly placed items, even up to 50, some even higher. Can't guarantee. We run it through also automated systems in order to gain that ability through Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Sometimes I get a yay or a nay or vice versa to each of those. So we're conscious to understand where the pressure points are for that approval. But I caution, I go back and tell you, it's the same thing I say, be careful what you wish for, I might get it for you. Oh my God, you got that approved? Yeah, I did. We have little to no conditions and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But it's gaining the right information and not having a surprise at a later date. Oh, did I tell you I just left that job and I started a new job? Okay, same profession or not, getting the document, I don't know. All of a sudden it's like an obstacle that we need. And if you change professions, oh, well, I left my job and I started my own company. I got no track record. All of a sudden, the carpet was pulled out. So it's communication of these items. So we know how long in business, we know what exists, we know the income. It goes into the bonuses, the overtime. All those things matter because it's the consistency. The 2-year average, is that bonus continuing? What was last year? Now, the verification process has also become a real pain in the backside because now companies are charging $100, $200, $300 to go through a verification process for your bonus and overtime because it's not broken down on your W-2. And I need the breakdown. We used to have someone fill it out and they broke it down, no problem. They don't do that anymore. They outsource it. And people who will use the workforce numbers and stuff and various other entities, the breakdowns sometimes aren't there that easily either. But I need your income. I need the breakdown. I need to know how to underwrite that. So what I'm asking you, go back and make sure you have your year-end pay stub and make sure as it's coming up in a few months, keep your year-end pay stub that has a breakdown of your gross pay, your overtime, your bonus, your sick pay, whatever it is, it breaks it down. The last paycheck. If you can't find last year's last paycheck, go talk to your HR, see if you can get a copy from payroll, whatever it is. Well, I'm not doing anything. Well, you don't know that yet. So I want you to always have 2 year-end pay stubs on hand. Because if you leave the job, then you don't have any access. But I want to show that history, and it's important for you to keep. So many of you just shred and get rid of things. Keep the last pay stub, please. It's going to help you in the process when you least expect it, because otherwise you may not qualify, or there's no good method, or you're spending $300 because we spent $300 because that's what we had to do. As I said, I'm a penny pincher. I spend my money the way I spend yours. Sparingly, I don't want to spend that money. I had a realtor that was about to put a credit card down to go pay for the item, and we were able to get it done. And this is not necessarily pay, so wrong story, but it was what had to do with the homeowners association. The homeowners association had to change their insurance. The homeowners association had issues and items that they had to fix, but they were telling me to go through this item to pay all this money to go get the items that were outdated, that had no bearing on the loan, that weren't updated yet. So I made a big stink saying, why am I paying for something on something I don't need when what I need hasn't been put in there yet, because you are voting on it this week, or it's becoming final this week. Eventually, property manager, the person in charge, says, you're right. So I was able to stop the realtor from paying. It was almost $400 for that item that wouldn't have helped. And we had the item handed to us at no charge, not only for the realtor, but potentially the client. These are the things that we look at, the micro items of the offensive line, watching out for you and making sure you're not scrambling or spending more money on upgrades to the line. Because what happens is you get a bill for this, a bill for that, and oh my God, well, we got you to the closing table. Well, what are all these things? Well, we had to pay some extra money because our protection wasn't as good, and we didn't do this and that, and that's not quite what's being said, because certain transactions have costs, but it's understanding those costs so you understand that ahead of time and not be up against it. And my job is to make sure you're not, and it's not a stressful process or close. And it's communication, whether you like to be text, emailed, called, however that is. I want to work in that right environment. If you have different hours where it's not good, you text me here at this times, and then I'm available after 6 or 7, whatever it is. It's understanding the rules of engagement. I'd like you to do me a favor, though. I want you to see a way that you can save money, whether you use it today, tomorrow, or in the future. I think, and I know it's going to be great for you. Join me on Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. It's a webinar. Don't need to see you. Don't need to talk. Just good information. I have a dear friend. Her name is Di. She's going to be presenting that night. She's going to be doing it live. She's sitting in the state of Washington. I want you to understand and listen and what's possible. Then we'll talk about what's probable with your information, because who cares about everyone else? It's about you. It's about how much money you're saving. And I want to get to that point. If you're a professional listening, I'd like you to join me also on that Tuesday evening to find out what it's all about for you or even your clients. We could have a separate conversation. Then I'd like to invite you to Thursday evening at 6 p.m. as a professional helping their clients succeed. And we could talk more about that and the role it plays in your business growth and development. So if you're a financial planner, an insurance agent, CPA, tax preparer, person of influence, a realtor, other mortgage professionals, I'm not taking your clients. These are your clients. You work with your clients, but I'm arming you with better information so you can actually do better for them. So let's talk about that. On the other side, I love to earn your mortgage business. Purchase or refinance, forward or reverse. That's what I do. So sorry, other lenders. I am looking for business, but I'm not looking for yours. That's not what I'm looking to do. I want to help you improve. There's enough business, although many of you are saying, well, where is all that business? Because it has changed slightly, the scenery. But in 38 years of doing this, I'm at a position where I want to make sure people succeed. I want to make sure people have the right journey as families are looking to grow. They look to afford all the college, the expenses, and everything else that exists. It is getting expensive. It's already expensive. Not getting, it already is. If I can help minimize those costs, get you further down the road, instead of lining the pockets of others, help keep it in your side. That's what this is about. Let me know your feelings. If you think listening today, you said, oh gosh, forget it. Let me know. 888-543-3980. Maybe you're debt-free already. You're living the life. Maybe you want to help others do the same thing. Maybe your knowledge and information can help others. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's your grandkids. Doing lending as I have touched on 2 families, 4 generations. I guess I'm old. But the thing is, when I was out of college in my 20s, I was working with them. Let's say my age now is 60. They were in those ranges. And then they had adult kids 20 years earlier. So I helped them. And then their kids were in the 20s growing up. And now their kids, as I've been in the business 38 years. And the great grandkids never knew their great grandparents. Now, I had an interesting look at all this because I did their financing and I had tax returns and information, and I knew different mindsets and how they were from my perspective. So it's been very enlightening to that experience with those 2 families. But I've done multiple 3-family, and I've done multiple brothers, sisters, cousins, and going in 2 generations as well. And it's an honor actually to serve those individuals and not be one and done. The goal for me is not transactional, it's relationship driven. And if I can build that relationship and trust with a family to discuss items and there's no pressure, oh, you need to do this by, well, no, we'll look to do it when it's proper and when you want to do it, and I'll be there when you're ready. But it's understanding the right information to make that decision and be accurate with it rather than guessing. I've heard stories from CPAs where someone buys a car. Oh, I bought a car. Should I have leased it? Well, they didn't talk to them first. They just did it. And then you got to understand the road to where you're going and the things you can do to be prepared. Technology and items that occur today allow you to do that. We watch the calendar to save money. We see the stock market trade up and down, gold this, gold that. We see the Dow up, the Dow down, record highs. We see everything. Oh my God, this stock did this. Oh my gosh, okay, you got people who day trade and do those things. You're in it for the long haul. It's your budget, it's your life, and your decisions. Gaining the best information while you do what you do best is what I'm asking you. I can't pretend to do your job. I may understand it, but it doesn't mean I can go do it. Just because you give me the scalpel doesn't mean I'm going to make the cut. Well, tell me about the surgery. Well, also I'm an expert? No, I just know what's going to happen at least. I have an understanding, but I'm not the person doing it. I'd still be the guy sitting here with the pliers trying to hammer in the nail rather than using the hammer. You got to understand where you are in your expertise of where you exist. Now, I could say, as I'm licensed in insurance and I understand it tremendously, but I'm not going through the ritual of writing that insurance and going and doing all those procedures at this time. So I refer it to somebody who lives in that space. I live in the lending space. I know every in and out and everything you can imagine about that and every circumstance coming in. And if I don't, I'll find out very, very, very quickly. But in these other areas, yeah, I know it well enough, but not to say, let me work on yours. Well, no, I need an expert. I need an expert. I need more people on my offensive line protecting you. If you got anything today, you need a team of experts. You think working with a professional is expensive? You need to work with an amateur and tell me how that goes for you, especially the repercussions that you don't even know are coming at a later date. We've had individuals who made certain decisions. Oh, just do this and you'll be fine. And years down the line, they lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in tax items that they could not change or recover from. You need to work with your professionals, your tax advisors, your insurance financial planners. You got to talk to these people, estate planning attorneys. You got to make sure you're set up and done properly. I'm Mike Harris. It's been a pleasure to be with you today. Until next week, what kind of loan do you have?
I wouldn't have to work.
United Mortgage Corporation of America, UnitedForLoans.com will continue to take your calls after the program. Call now to start your home loan process at 888-5433.
Thank you for joining me this week. Next week we'll be on also here in Ventura County and also on K-Earth 101. But this week, I want you to really look at what you have. What loan do you have? Your rate, but how much money is going towards interest? Join me on Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Send me an email, interest@aheadformoney.com. Send that email. I will reply, not AI or not the team. It's me. I'm going to reply to you. Until next week, what kind of loan do you have?